Mr. Bonjour. Mr. Falcone.
Present.
Ms. Johnson.
Here.
Mr. Kukovic.
Present.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Here.
Ms. Smith.
Here.
Mayor Galate.
Here. If you will join me in the flag salute. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I would like to ask for a motion to go into executive so we can discuss something that's contractual because we have to vote on it on the agenda.
Can we, well, before that motion's made, because we did advertise a work session, can we just take 2 minutes for me to share something with council really quick and then we could jump in, because I know we're very tight on time. Just because we advertised a work session, so I just want to bring it up really.
We did advertise a work session / executive session.
Yes, so I'm gonna be a couple minutes. So I know I did ask Shauna if she could share the information with you guys regarding Thompson and Allendale. I know the engineer had said prior councils have denied the request to adopt the road. I think it would be advantageous for us just to look into it with a fresh set of eyes, a brand new council, and kind of see what's kind of going on there. You know, we do have a brand new business that's come into the Northwood section of town, so I don't want to just say a prior council said no, so the answer is no. Right now,
A lot of research on that.
Yeah,
A lot
so,
of research. On
you know, if we can take the time to get up to speed on it, just so we can kind of speak to it and not just go with the answer of, well, prior council said no, so the answer is no. I just would like to give, you know, a little bit more due diligence to the whole thing. You know,
Can you give us like the 40,000 foot view into it right now?
yeah, so right now,
Well, actually, it's a very detailed story, so
Yeah, it
I
takes
don't
some
think that we should really get into it. I do have a recent brief that I asked the engineer to prepare that he prepared on the 15th of December, which will go over everything from start to finish about what has transpired. And it wasn't just that previous councils had said that they weren't interested in pursuing it because of all of the work that had to be done on the backs of the residents, not the municipality, because the road has to be brought up to code by the residents and not the municipality. So the engineer does go into great detail about that, but it wasn't just them. It was also brought up just recently this year too with the administrator that we just had, and that was another person that had said. So that's all. I can have Shauna send this out to everybody so you have it. Then we can
Please.
put it on a future agenda.
Thank you. Sounds good.
Great.
Anyway, make the motion to go into executive session.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstentions? Okay, we are going to go into executive session, so we are going to need everybody to leave the room temporarily. We're going to go into executive session for contract negotiation. Is being held in compliance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act NJSA 10:4-6 at SEC. Annual notice has been forwarded to the New Jersey Herald and the Daily Record. It was posted on the bulletin board maintained in the municipal building for public announcements. Can I have a roll call?
Mr. Bongiovanni.
Here.
Mr. Falcone.
Present.
Ms. Johnson.
Here.
Mr. Kukovic.
Present.
Ms. Rodriguez.
here.
Ms. Smith.
Here.
Mayor Galate.
Here. If you'll all join me in the flag salute.
Oops.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So we have one proclamation this evening supporting the drive sober or get pulled over for 2025 year-end crackdown. So it reads, whereas approximately 1/3 of all fatal traffic crashes in the United States involve impaired drivers, and whereas impaired driving crashes killed 11,654 people in the United States in 2020, and whereas impaired driving crashes cost the United States almost $44 billion a year, and whereas during the past 5 years, New Jersey's roadways experienced 33,798 crashes and 662 fatalities involving impaired drivers. And whereas an enforcement crackdown is planned to combat impaired driving, and whereas the year-end holiday season is traditionally a time for social gatherings which include alcohol, and whereas the state of New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety has asked law enforcement agencies throughout the state to participate in the Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over 2025 year-end holiday crackdown. And whereas the project will involve increased impaired driving enforcement from December 5th, 2025 through January 1st, 2026. And whereas an increase in impaired driving enforcement and a reduction in impaired driving will save lives on our roadways. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Marie Galati, Mayor of the Borough of Hopatcon, have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the Borough of Hopatcon to be affixed on the 17th day of December, 2025. Declares its support for the Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over 2025 year-end holiday crackdown from December 5th, 2025 through January 1, 2026, and pledges to increase awareness of the dangers of drinking and driving. Thank you. Moving on to committee reports. I do have a few things that I just wanted to do before we actually started. One of them is I would like to announce that I was informed today that Hopatcon received a grant of $1.24 million for our second phase of the River Styx Streetscape Improvement Project. For those of you that remember, we did the first streetscape project for River Styx in the River Styx area by the bridge. This project will actually finish it from the traffic light by the Elite Prep Academy to the traffic light here. So we'll get the street lights in this part, we'll get the sidewalks, we'll get the planters, we'll get all that great stuff. So we were awarded that, and I'm sure that that work will start as soon as it's possible to do.
Do we have to get the streetlights?
Yeah, not as
I don't
many.
think they're to be able to get the same street.
Not as many.
So, yeah. But yeah, I don't think we'll get the same streetlights. I don't think they make those anymore. I do have an announcement. Our new website is up and it's running. There are a few issues. Some of them will be fixed tomorrow. However, there was some kind of a miscommunication with the start date. We were under the impression that it was starting in January, and it went live today. So we're trying to actually fix some of the issues with the new site, but we're actually hoping we can get back to the old site so it's easier for everybody before we actually do our launch again. And I believe we're going to get more on that tomorrow, I believe. And I think it was today at 5 o'clock where we were just like, what? So we'll get some more information about that for you. I do want to say that the giving tree, there was a decision made this year that we were not going to do the giving tree. Once I realized that that had taken place, I reached out for Doreen at our wellness center and asked her if it was possible for her to do some type of a giving tree. To not do a giving tree at the holiday season here in Hopatcon, I just thought was just really horrible. So last minute, we were able to throw it together. We had over 20 tags, and I have to say, within 5 days, we had all the tags gone, and we have almost all the gifts back at the Wellness Center. So I really just want to say thank you to Doreen. A huge kudos to her for getting it up and running. Huge kudos to her for getting it out there and getting everybody to grab the tags and bring the gifts back. And next year, we'll have far better planning than what this is. We did have our holiday tree lighting recently, so I do want to say thank you to the Girl Scouts who came to sing. They were absolutely adorable. The Hopatcon Holiday Ensemble from the Hopatcon High School Band was here. They were performing. Our Recreation Superintendent, Max, was spearheading this along with our Recreation Commission, who were, again, just absolutely hysterical in their costumes all over, and they were able to give out hot chocolate. We had Santa that was in here in this room, which was really kind of interesting, but it worked out very, very well. A lot of people enjoyed it. I didn't think that I would like it as much because outside is so much nicer in the shed across the street, but the parents online kept saying, oh, it's so much warmer in here. So I think we're probably going to keep it on the inside, but we'll see for next year. But I do want to thank Santa because he came too. We did have our menorah lighting the other evening. Recreation was behind that also. They did hot chocolate and some donuts and whatnot. And we had Rabbi Kirsch here from our Hopatcon Synagogue. And we had an extra treat where we had Rabbi Mars and his son Saul, who actually played the guitar in, what was it, Jen, 11 Degrees on Sunday?
Yep, yeah.
So that was quite interesting. But they were nice. They were very good. They came out. They actually gave a little bit of a history lesson too, which was nice. I do want to reach out and say thank you to the Conference of Mayors. I was invited to participate in one of the panels that they were having in East Brunswick last Friday. It's always nice to be asked to do something like that, but it's even nicer to be able to represent Hopatcon and Sussex County because we are left out a lot in a lot of different things. I do want to wish everybody a happy Hanukkah, a happy Kwanzaa, and a Merry Christmas, whatever holiday that everybody celebrates. And before the end of the year, I don't know if I will see everybody, so I would like to wish everybody a happy new year. And I think that's all that I have so far. Yes, thank you. Anthony?
For the communications committee's been a little stymied in getting things done that they wanted to achieve, with part of it is being the attorney and the change in attorneys, because there's been a lot of other priorities that needed to be handled, and then as well with the administrator now. So that's been a bit of a problem. But one of the things that we are doing, I think, in executive session, the information the council attorney gave out was pretty valuable. I presume everybody took a look at that. So we're taking that and going to turn that into policy, which we'll review with everybody here, because I think from a roles and responsibilities perspective, there was a lot of good information. So we could turn that into policy to allow us to operate, more collaboratively and more focused on the things that we need to achieve in 2026. I think that would be helpful. So hopefully you'll support that. On the finance committee, we are working towards getting a first pass draft budget. I have a review with Judy, or with our CFO on Friday to talk about where we're at with that. So I'm hopeful in the next couple of weeks that we'll have a draft budget for the council to take a look at. That's the update on the finance committee. But lastly, Councilwoman Smith, this is her last meeting for us. I'd like to thank her for her service.
I made it.
Over the past 3 years. Yes, thank you for being on the council and doing all the things that you have worked diligently on over the past 3 years. And myself, I'm sure the rest of the council, the mayor, and of course, the residents of Hopatcon appreciate that very, very much.
Thank you very much. Very much.
No committee updates from me.
Jennifer?
The Municipal Alliance held their movie night on December 12th. It was not as lucrative for Project 2026 or the Alliance as, well, not lucrative for the Alliance, but the attendance was poor. And I actually reached out to our board president from the Board of Ed. And we are going to try and get together a Google shared calendar between the school events and the town events and the team events and the sports events, and try and get on one page with that so that we're not overlapping on the same days, so that not everybody can do everything, but we don't overlap as much, because I think that the Basketball Madness was like amazing, but we had not a whole lot of people at the movie night. And I think if we had coordinated that, it would have been perfect. Absolutely perfect. The next meeting for the Municipal Alliance is on January 12th at 6 p.m. here right now. And I just want to remind everybody, while you're going through your clothes after Christmas, there is a bin behind the senior center that collects all of the clothes. The clothes collected from there translates into money for the Municipal Alliance that goes back into the schools, the community, the seniors. So definitely drop off your clothes there. For the school, January 5th at 6 p.m. is the reorg meeting. They hosted their Christmas tree lighting on December 3rd, and that was for the benefit of Project Graduation 2028. And Mr. Brown did a phenomenal job, and everybody did a wonderful job, and it was really great. They have a half day on the 23rd, and then they are out. School is closed until January 5th. For recreation, the commission and the department had the Christmas lighting on the 6th and the menorah lighting on the 14th, and it was beautiful. Both events, I wanted to thank the marching band, the Girl Scouts, the commission, the rabbis, Max. Their next meeting is on January 13th at 7 p.m. I also wanted to send my condolences to the victims of the Bondi Beach and the Brown University shootings that happened in the last week, for those victims and their families. And I wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, and a Happy New Year. That's all.
Thank you. Christine?
Okay, Rotary of Lake Hopatcon has been very active for many years, and this weekend they had the Christmas party for special needs children It was well over 40 children that they gave presents to and their siblings. And it was a magical day at the Elks Club. We had music, dancing, the kids were dancing, and all the Smiles boys were there. It was absolutely tears in everybody's eyes. It was a magical day, and Santa gave out each present. It was just so special. And we've enjoyed this for many years, and they will keep doing it. They really did a magnificent job. And I just want to thank everyone in this town for electing me and supporting me. I have met so many wonderful people. And I just love it here, and I really enjoyed working with you all. It's not easy to do day in, day out, but I have to say, I wish more people would take a chance and step up to help out in the town. It's very rewarding. I mean, the hometown heroes, the things we did where for the kids that run away, home again, all that kind of stuff means something to everybody somehow in your life. And I know a lot of people, all they talk about council and so forth is taxes and this and that. What's wrong? Let's look at what's right. This town is amazing. And I have many friends come in from out of town to visit, and they acknowledge that they feel warm and fuzzy here. It's just a lovely place to live. And I want to thank you. It was a good 3 years, and I hope I can continue to help within the town in other ways. So thank you very much.
Thank you,
Christine.
Christine.
Mhm.
Christine is staying along on our senior citizen.
I am staying on the senior council. Thank
Staying
you.
on our senior citizen.
I can't give
You're
up
not
my
getting out that.
seniors. I love my
I
seniors.
pulled her back in for something, but
I love my
we'll keep
seniors,
getting her to do other things.
but I'm available.
I'm sorry, Steve.
So historically, on your last meeting.
This is my last day.
So you're supposed to make something like, homemade cake.
I should,
You
nah.
have it.
Nah,
But anyway,
making peanut brittle. I'll talk to you
I
later.
I enjoy working with you, sitting next to you.
Thank you.
I think you've done wonderful things for Hopakon, and I'm gonna miss you. I'm usually not sentimental, but I'm gonna miss you.
Thank
You're
you,
a very
Steve.
kind person. On the committee report, I mean,
You're still on Santa's naughty list. I'm just letting you know that.
so on the committee reports, we had an administrator came on board, and we were gave her some time to, get on board and everything. And just as we're getting excited about next year, the administrator decides to leave. So we're back to square one. So hopefully with the next administrator, we'll get back on track right away, and then hopefully we could do some great things. But whatever you celebrate, can, enjoy, especially your family, because,
Can't get another one.
yeah, those are the important events that, like Christy was talking about and everybody else was talking about. And we have a great community, a lot of things to be grateful and happy and a safe new year.
Thank you, Rachel.
I want to start off by congratulating the Hopakon Warriors competition cheerleading junior black and senior white. Senior white coaches in the room. They took first place at their Voorhees competition. We didn't hit 0, but we came home with first place for both teams. They did absolutely amazing. So congratulations to them. The Hopakon Warriors comp team is hosting a holiday dance. It's actually to be this Friday at the Hopakon Middle School. Pre-K through 3rd grade is hosted from 6 p.m. to 7:15. 4th grade through 7th grade is hosted 7:30 through 8:45. I don't know if anybody's heard of Santa Boom, but he is the most real Santa. Like, if you didn't believe in Santa, you will believe in Santa after you see this guy, because he is so realistic. That's who we had at the county party, and he was just absolutely amazing. So pictures will be available. It's $15 per family. You do not have to attend the dance to get a photo with Santa Claus. And the cost for the dance is $5 per student. So if you'd like to sign up, you do not have to be from Hopakon. Any child can sign up. Please visit the Hopakon Warriors cheer Facebook page. There is a Google link. You could sign up there. And I think nothing specific to committees, but I do just want to take a moment and thank all of our first responders during the holiday seasons, because they always answer the call when those calls come in. EMS, CERT, fire, police, there's no, second thought to it. They get up and they go. So I want to thank, and even our emergency crews in town, DPW, the water departments with everything, they go when they're called. So around this time of year, I know it's always about family, but I want to thank them all for their efforts, never leaving the town high and dry. And in terms of New Year's resolutions, am I going to see anybody else in the gym first week January? See how long we last. I don't know. That's it for me though. See how long that going.
Yeah.
And it's not your last meeting.
It's not. What do you mean?
We have Monday.
Oh, it's definite.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I'm bringing up peanut butter.
So we're waiting for that. So moving on to an administrator's report. We don't really have an administrator's report, but I did ask the superintendent to give me a timeline of the water emergency that we just had. So the following is a timeline of events that occurred Friday, December 12th, 2025 through 7 a.m. Wednesday, December 17th. Friday, December 12th, 2025 at 7 a.m. Brooklyn Mountain tank level was at 23.4 feet. There are 2 pre-existing leaks on residents' side at Durbin and Laurie. At approximately 10 a.m., New Jersey Natural Gas discovered a water service break on Beverly while installing their gas mains on another street. The water department investigated and it was determined that the leak was on the customer's sides. At approximately 11:30 a.m., the assistant superintendent, while on the road, discovered water flowing onto DuPont. The water department investigated and determined the leak was on the borough side. 1 call was called. If you're not aware of it, we're not allowed to dig anything in the borough of Hopatcong without calling 1 call first. Sometimes 1 call comes out in an hour. Sometimes they come out in 4 hours. So sometimes when there is a leak, then there's water running down DuPont. We're aware of it. We just can't do anything until we get the approval from 1 call to actually do the digging. 1 call was notified and the water department mobilized to make the repair. At 8 p.m., the repair on DuPont completed. Brooklyn Mountain tank had now gone to 19 feet. Saturday, December 13th at 11:30 a.m., the water department employee, while conducting their rounds, was notified that Hopatcong Fire Department responded to a fire. The supervisor on call was notified and checked the Brooklyn Mountain tank level. The tank level was approximately now at 14 feet. As you're aware, when we use water for a fire, it creates a lot of out pressure that comes out, and that tank that already had an issue is now down from 23.4 feet to 14 feet in a day. The supervisor was told by the Hopatcong Fire Department that the water from the system was not used. The supervisor on call determined that it may be a water main break. The supervisor called the assistant superintendent of public works and informed him of the situation. At 11:50, the superintendent is notified and informed that the supervisor on call and the water department employee are investigating to locate the water main break. Service call was made to New Tech, which is our leak detection company. 6 p.m., Public Works Management reported to DPW to start mobilization for the impending snowstorm, because we can't just have a water main break in Hopatcong. We have to have a snowstorm that needs to be cleared on the roads and salted on top of that. So at 6:30 p.m., Brooklyn Mountain tank level is now at 11.2 feet. So in 1 day, it's dropped from 23.4 feet to 11.2 feet, which is hazardous to our water clients. The water detection company was contacted to assist with finding the location of the water main break. They were on their way to Hopatcong at that time. At approximately 6:40 p.m., I do want to acknowledge that Rich is in the room. Rich is our new OEM starting January 1.
Good luck. Good luck, Rich.
So you can pay attention to my water report for our water leak that we had just now. So approximately 6:40 p.m., mayor and borough engineer were advised of the situation by the superintendent. At 7 p.m., the water technician on site was working with DPW and water department to locate the remaining water main breaks. At approximately 8:30 p.m. on Saturday, the superintendent notified the water operator and advised him of the situation. On Sunday, December 14th at approximately 1 a.m., the decision was made by the superintendent to shut off water services that were leaking on the residents' side to conserve water to lessen the stress on the water system. At 2:15 a.m., Brooklyn Mountain tank was now at 10.6 feet. At 4 a.m., the Brooklyn Mountain tank had gone to 11.1, so there was a little fluctuation. At 5 a.m., investigation was ended due to the weather conditions, as it made using the leak detection equipment very difficult. Additional leaks were found at Marne on the residence side, and there was a leak on Elba that was also found on the borough side. At 5:30 p.m., the Brooklyn Mountain tank level was now at 7.8 feet. At 6:30 a.m. on Monday, Brooklyn Mountain tank was at 5.3 feet. The water operator, borough engineer, and mayor were notified of the situation. At 7 a.m., the leak detection company arrived to continue with water leak investigation. During their investigation, they found water service leaks at Musconetcong on the borough side, Keewatin and Mast on the resident side. At 9 p.m., the repair company arrived to assist with confirming tank level and adjusting VFDs at well houses to increase the pump output to our well houses. The water operator also arrived to assist. At 11 a.m., Brooklyn Mountain tank level was now at 8 feet. At 12 p.m., the leak detection company discovered a water main break on Carrington. At 12:45, one call was notified. Water department was mobilized. However, they did not get to start repairs till 3 p.m. because, as we know, it takes forever for one call to get there. At 8 p.m., the repair on Carrington was finally completed. Tuesday, December 16th at 7 a.m., Brooklyn Mountain tank level was now at 9.5 feet. Wednesday, Brooklyn Mountain tank levels were at 16.5 feet. Keewatin leak was fixed by the resident. The Elbow Point leak was fixed by the municipal water department. And at this point in time, that's all that we have for the report for the water leak. So unfortunately, when we have a water leak, it's very obvious how it can get out of hand very fast, which is why we mobilized. Most of our OEM got mobilized. We had to have potable water and non-potable water at firehouse number 3 for any residents that were experiencing low water pressure or no water. We did have that set up. I do want to say thank you to all of our volunteers that were there. Because of the temperatures, we could not leave the tanks on the apron of the firehouse. They had to be inside the firehouse. So that meant we really needed volunteers to stay inside because we have millions of dollars worth of fire trucks and equipment and whatnot in there. So I do want to say thank you to CERT, especially Fran. She was there from 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. on that day. And she was there the very next morning also. Our OEM coordinator was there and our deputy was there and several other CERT members. And without them, I don't know how we would man these things and be able to have the water for residents. They're also there to assist the residents that need water, who need help getting it back and forth from their cars. So we're very appreciative of them in our community because we do need it in a crisis like that. That's all that I have for the administrator's report.
Can I ask a question to that report really quick?
Yeah.
In those water instances where we have the water that's available at the firehouse, I know the town has put out a message that the water is no longer available, given that the water repairs were completed. Do we hold on to the water buffaloes at
Yes.
least for a couple days out? We don't send it back right away, correct? Because I know typically for us, it's never just one fix. There's always multiple that pop up, so.
The interesting thing is the gentleman who dropped off the potable water had said to us, it's a good thing that we didn't call yesterday because in his company, he didn't have any left throughout the entire state of New Jersey. All of his water buffaloes were completely out for potable water, which just goes to show you we're not the only municipality that has issues with water. A lot of them were actually down in Patterson. But actually, to answer your question, they do end up lingering because they don't pick them up right away.
Mhm.
So they do end up staying with us. And if the water department felt that there were still going to be issues, we would have hung on to them a little bit longer to answer that.
And the Brooklyn Mountain tank is back to,
It's much higher than it was during that report.
that 7.8 was terrifying.
Yeah, it is. It really is. So moving on to our public comment, can I have a motion to open to the
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstentions? The meeting is open to the public for anything on the agenda and off the agenda.
My name's Pam Roth, for the record. So members of the Hopatcong Chiefs Booster Club Board and I are here tonight to request some guidance. My name's Pam Roth, as I mentioned, and also here from the board is Nicole Falcone Schubert and Jackie Gilliel, and online is Val Francis and Danielle Strack. Our goal as the Hopatcong Chiefs Booster Club is to support Hopatcong High School student athletes. So we help them, the coaches fundraise for anything that they need, you know, whether it's uniforms and stuff like that. But we also award senior student athletes scholarships if they're eligible. So, which also means working with like feeder programs, like the rec basketball program, for example, to build up the amount of participants and their skills so that they're ready for high school ball. So exposing kids to what the high school basketball program has to offer is a great way to do that. So this requires us to work directly with the rec program and those who are in charge of it, to ultimately benefit the kids and their potential future as a chief. So we just had some questions. I guess the first one is, what is the role of the town paid rec director, as it relates to rec basketball, for example? And what is the differentiation between the volunteer who runs the basketball program and the paid rec director? Specifically as it relates to communication with parents, coaches, scheduling of games, uniforms, other events during the season, things like that. For example, our event Jen mentioned recently hosted at the high school called Basketball Madness. It would have been a great opportunity for that rec director to kind of get to know the program in the high school.
Can I interrupt you one
Sure.
second? So your question is, you'd like to know what the recreation superintendent's role is at that specific event?
Yeah, more just like the job description, like what is the role
The
in
role of how he
general?
would interact with you?
And is there a differentiation between the volunteer who runs the basketball program, and then what is the participation of the rec director in the basketball program as well? Is there, specific duties, segregation of duties, or, collaboration, for example? And, some of my next questions might also help.
Okay,
explain.
sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. But yeah, ultimately, like, what is that
Okay.
role of that person who's paid, and then the volunteer, right? So, also, if there is any fundraising events that our booster club sponsors, and we want to get it out to the parents and the families, the coaches of those programs, we wanted to, what is the proper way to go about that? And, as far as communication and, is there any restrictions or rules, that you're aware of that, we need to abide by or follow?
Through the town, you're talking like. the
I mean,
fundraisers
yeah,
through
just more for
town.
the basketball program, because you guys run that, right? So like we can work with, the Little League for softball, baseball. We can work with Warriors for cheer. Yeah, so there's other rec programs, Hopakon Hawks for soccer. So we involve, we invite all those other team football. Yeah, so all those things. So basketball, we're trying to look for some guidance on how to communicate to the parents and coaches. And then I think Jen alluded to the shared calendar, which was great. We heard that Community Pass might be being looked into. It's a shared calendar program, software or something. So, that would be great because the facilities at the high school has a calendar, you can tap into so that we can, collaborate on that. And Jen, just a really quick question. Can we attend that rec meeting on January 12th or 13th?
Absolutely, it's an open public
The
meeting.
12th or the 13th?
It is the 13th, it's
13th.
the second Tuesday of the
Okay.
month. It's their reorg meeting, I think.
Okay,
But
gotcha.
yeah,
And then lastly, the Booster Club, or Hopakon Chiefs Booster Club, in conjunction with Just Driven Athletics, is hosting another event coming up on January 2nd for all athletes interested to build their skills. So this is a prime example of like something, we just want guidance to get communication out timely so that parents can plan. Like that's a day where the kids are off. They don't have, school, so maybe they need to throw them in a camp, right? So like if we get that timely, they could sign up for it early instead of last minute, so that was really it.
Very good. Can you leave me your contact information, or should I get it?
Yeah, no problem.
This way I can get you directly the answers that
Yeah,
you're looking for.
HopakOnBooster@gmail.
HopakOnBooster@gmail.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Maybe, yeah, I do. Sorry, I'm not used to these meetings. I'm at the other meetings.
you're on that side.
Right. Is there any way that someone on the council can explain how the rec commission works here tonight? So we can just get an overview. I know that there's a rec commission, and I believe that's made up of volunteers. And then there's the director of recreation. And that has been a new position for a year, right?
The recreation
coordinator. I'm not the superintendent, right?
Superintendent.
So as a parent of a kid who's in the rec basketball program, I haven't seen any differences in how the rec program was run last year and this year. I haven't seen anything that they're getting more or less of. So I'm just trying to figure out, I know we have this paid superintendent. So what is that person's role? How are they adding to the two programs that the town offers for the kids? I'm very heavily involved in the Warriors program. And that's run completely by volunteers. So I'm just trying to see, we're paying this person who I still haven't met or seen at any events or got any communication from, and I've paid the $150 for my kid to do the rec basketball. I don't know what that person is doing. So I would appreciate it during public comment or whenever you guys speak, if someone can just talk about what the recreation committee does and what the rec director does.
So
Is
what we
that
have is a
possible?
rec commission. So our rec commission is made up of the members that sit on the rec commission.
Okay,
So they have separate terms. Some of them, they're 5 years. Most of them are 5 years, except for the alternates.
okay,
And every year, I believe there's 2 of those that come off. They rotate off or they can stay on, however that's working. We created the recreation coordinator position in Hopatcon in 1995.
mhm,
So that was the first time we ever had a full-time recreation coordinator. So that recreation coordinator was involved in a lot of the different sports, but sports were set up a little differently back then.
mhm,
A lot of them are on their own now. Little League is on their own, Warriors are on their own. Recreation Commission, when we had the recreation coordinator, there was a representative from each sports that sat on the Recreation Commission.
okay,
So that there was representation, and there was actually a senior that sat on that group also, because then the seniors had representation also. It's a little different now. It's changed. I want to say it changed around 2018, 2019, somewhere in there. So what we have now is we've had a recreation coordinator, we've had a director, we've had a coordinator, and now we've created the title of the superintendent. And the superintendent is a full-time employee that's here, that's job is to help us do all of our recreation projects, whether they be field projects, whether they be municipal projects that are recreational, like the tree lighting or the menorah lighting, and also the sports. And from my understanding, the only 2 sports that we really have that are volunteer sports that are part of recreation again now is 3.
Four.
Track,
Cross country.
cross country, I'm sorry, track,
okay.
cross country, street hockey, and basketball.
Okay,
So those were fairly newly added to the duties of the recreation director. I am not aware that the recreation director is not that involved in the basketball aspect of it.
mhm,
The recreation director that we do have, I see him more on a one-to-one basis. I don't see him at the events. So I would really have to be able to, speak with him
okay,
to get back. But to answer your question, recreation meetings are absolutely public. Anybody can go to those.
Mhm.
Anybody can speak at those. They have a secretary similar to just what our Shauna is. So they have
Okay.
minutes. They have agendas that are up that you'll see just like a council agenda or your school board agendas.
mhm,
They're a very productive group here in Hopatcon. And our commission has always been very, very, very involved. We do have one open position if anybody is interested, if they want to get back to me.
But the
that I-
super is at that meeting as well.
Yeah,
that's what I was
right?
gonna say too. The superintendent's at that meeting.
The superintendent is also at that meeting, and there is a portion where he does give a report at that meeting also. And he works in conjunction with the Recreation Commission, like their events that they're doing outside. Again, I'll use the menorah lighting and the Christmas extravaganza. They do those events jointly. The basketball, I know that they have volunteers through the Recreation Commission that do basketball. Street hockey, we have outside street hockey people. For basketball, we have the volunteers again for that. But most of the programs that we're having, I want to say that we're actually kind of starting with the clay at the beginning and we're trying to bring it back up because recreation here was always so busy. Just so busy with all kinds of things and all the different groups. Everybody knew what was going on the shared calendar. I think it's fabulous.
Yeah, we need that.
We always used to have a community calendar that the police used to do, and it used to have everything and anything on it. And it just got, distributed to the different businesses every month, or it was, we started putting it online at the borough. We don't really have that because we did that in unison with the school and that just doesn't happen anymore. But the shared calendar sounds like
Yeah.
it might be something that takes the place of that.
Okay, so we'll bring that up at the rec commission meeting, because I feel like we've talked about this community
Well,
pass
I-
for a long time.
Yeah, but
I don't know if it's a money thing, I don't know if it's, I know everything is. But I guess I just want to say, and I will say this at the rec commission meeting, if I could go, if I don't have practice or need to attend a booster club or something like that. But my concern is when I asked, what the roles are, the volunteer is doing the day-to-day scheduling, the communication with the parents, the communication with the coaches, this basketball schedule. That is a lot of work. And without naming names, I just want to say that the basketball madness looked great and the kids had an awesome time. But behind the scenes, it has been a mess and it's very stressful. And programs are being pitted against each other and it's not fair and it's not right because we're all here for the children.
Yes.
So much so that the person who was in charge of it last year didn't want to do it. So then I had to do it, which I love to do for the kids, right? But if I didn't have to do it for the kids, I wouldn't do it. So my concern here is that we have a paid superintendent. And when you're paid to do something, you tend to work a little bit nicer with people, okay? Because it's your job. And when we have volunteers who are working against groups, it makes it very difficult and uncomfortable. So I will say that all at the rec committee meeting if I could go, but I think it's important that the town council knows that our volunteers also represent the town, whether they're paid or not. And when someone is a paid employee, you have a lot more leeway with what you can say and ask them to do. So I, for myself, would like a job description of what the superintendent does specifically as it relates to sports. And if we are raising fees for sports, I don't mind, but the kids should be getting more out of it. And there should be definitely more of a professional approach and involvement by the superintendent of recreation, who might be a lovely person. I just haven't met him.
I think the important part too is because like track runs like that. So we have somebody, because that's the street hockey is kind of a standalone program. We don't have, it's not a feeder into the high school, but our track program and our cross country is, right? So I think
That is a huge concern of
Right.
ours.
one of the questions, along with basketball. So I think one of the big questions that maybe you guys are asking, maybe us or the recreation
Mhm.
commission department, whatever, is how do we better liaise those two,
Yes.
3 programs into the high school and whether it be through the commission or the rec superintendent, coming in,
We
shaking
have
hands and.
2 excellent head basketball coaches. We have assistant coaches. We have up and coming athletes who want to work with the younger kids. It just needs to be more productive and not as territorial as things have been. It's not 2 separate programs. It's one leading into the next.
Right, no, that makes sense.
Understood.
Okay.
I think the bigger issue is, and I brought this up before, and maybe we could talk about this in new business if you want to stick around or catch it on Zoom, but I think we need to discuss as a council, now that we've had a superintendent on for a year, and this probably should have been done a year ago, is no longer requiring a commission, but move it to a committee, right? Because I think the commission, if you look at it overall, ultimately has more power than the superintendent, which to me doesn't make any sense. It hasn't made sense since day one. But I think we should, if we can, I'd like to discuss that in new business tonight about the possibility of decommissioning the commission and moving it to a committee.
Thanks.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Nicole.
Nicole.
Anyone else?
My name is Mary Velker. And I am appearing before the council because of the backlash and harassment that I have received has become increasingly worse over the past couple of months. The exercise group specifically has been calling me names, saying that I have no right to be there, and that I'm stealing all the donations that come in, and that I have no right to tell them that they can't take them. While in actuality, I am protecting the donations from being stolen from the seniors. Secondly, the senior center is a non-for-profit center. It is stated in the Seniors Inc. newsletter that there is a fee of $2. Currently, the exercise group has estimated amount of 42 members. The individual who runs the class does not have a license or insurance. It would be a great service if the exercise group could start 15 minutes earlier. At present, we do not have enough time to sanitize the tables before the seniors get there, which is a Board of Health issue. As previously mentioned in the exercise group, an estimated amount of 42 people are there, and they put all their bags, whatever they have, on the tables. And I went in the other day and my table was filthy. So I had told them that I would come in early and do it, but they will not leave. And it's becoming increasingly worse. We've had seniors that walk with a walker that had to park all the way up by the pavilion because they were they were parked in the front spaces. Okay. Okay. I just had to say that. Okay. Fourthly, because of the large size of the group, the parking lot is oftentimes full. This is further my grandson gave me this word, exacerbated.
Keep going.
Because
It's probably what,
It's a good word.
25.
He's 6.
I knew I wasn't gonna get it out
You
right.
got it, you got
But
it.
anyway, you probably know what it means. Because they don't leave once the class is over, causing parking issues for the seniors. Additionally, there is a health concern because they might be forced to park up in the back of the parking lot. And it happens all the time. Okay, I get there early to help with the donations. I went to Shelby. She gave me permission. And when I went in to do it, that's when this all started with them coming after me. And I actually went to one woman, she had a bag full of stuff, and I said, could you wait till after the class to get that? And she had 4 things in her bag, and it says right on the wall, 2 items per person. So I was trying to do the right thing. And it's getting increased, and everybody's afraid to come in front of you. I'm not. I love our seniors. I love our group. We're losing people because, and they're not just harassing me. We had a girl in there the other day that comes. She got there early during the exercise class and she was crocheting. She came over and said to her, you can't be here. And she said, but I'm here for lunch. This is only for exercise. She says, well, I'm not leaving. So then she went away. But so now they're going after people that know me. And I just need to say that something has to be done because 2 people had to say to the one woman that said I had no right to be there. She was coming at me. Okay. And they had to stop her. So this shows you that how aggressive they're getting toward us. And that's it.
Great. I wrote down everything that you said, and I certainly sympathize with you, and I certainly hear you. But the unfortunate thing is this board, the mayor and council, does not have jurisdiction over that building from 9 AM till 1:30 PM. Sussex County has that site, as you know, as the nutrition site.
Right.
The nutrition site is a federally funded lunch program that the county actually installs there and has their programs there.
Right.
So all of these things I will bring back to the county because they have to go in front of the, as you know, Lorraine Hens. It has
Yes.
to go in front of Lorraine because Lorraine is the person who oversees the activities that are happening there. I can tell you though, that the activities that happen there during the lunch program are activities that the county allows in the building. So the county is allowing the exercise group there. So we will again have to meet, which you know, we are meeting. We were supposed to meet on the 9th and then that didn't work for everybody. So there will be, I'm sure, another meeting with Lorraine and all of the, I'm going to say powers that be. There's probably going to be another meeting there. And the unfortunate thing is every once in a while, people get complacent. Some people become territorial. We've got to bring everybody back to the table. We've got to say, you know, enough, this is what we've got to do. There's concessions on this side, there's concessions on that side, because everybody has to be able to get along, because everybody wants to be at the center, because it's a happening place to be. Whether
Right.
you're there for lunch, or you're there for exercise, or you're there for bingo, everybody wants to be there. So we all
Right.
have to
Right.
be able to get along there. So, but I appreciate you coming in, because I want to make sure I get everything to Lorraine, so she's
I
aware.
appreciate that
Yep, not a
because,
problem.
you know, I mean, our bingo is after lunch,
Right,
so we're not causing any problems.
right.
You know, that's why I wanted to bring this up.
Nope, not a problem.
Okay,
I wrote
thank you
everything
very
down,
much.
so feel free.
If I don't see you before the holidays, happy
Merry
holidays.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Anyone else?
What?
I'm Roy McQueen. I don't know if anybody is here tonight that was before, how should I say it, or when the exercise program was first started by our town nurse, Fran.
Yes,
She started the program after lunch, not before.
Mhm.
That would address the sanitation concern. And the same thing with parking perhaps. But that was a very successful program. And today, I know one of our members, or one of the senior members, has Fran's original notes from the exercises that she had. If the council requires them, I'm sure that we can get a copy for that from Fran. She was a town nurse that started this, I don't know how many years back, you know. I'm only retired since 68, you know. No, I'm sorry. I moved here in 68. Wish I was at 68 retired.
I didn't know you were that old.
No, sorry about that.
Man, I was.
But that's all I like to say. That could be changed just time-wise, that's all.
yeah, the unfortunate thing too with timing with events that we have at the senior center, it goes by what the instructors and the people coming to do the events, what their timeline is. And again, that's strictly set up through the county, not set up through us.
But you said after 1:30 though, you said you gave a time of 1:30.
Right, but that exercise program is part of the county exercise, it's part of the county's program for exercise for that group, for the lunch site.
Are there guidelines for the instructor for, Mary, what did you say?
Yes, there are.
Insurance?
Yes, there are, because she is a volunteer that's underneath the program, and there are other volunteer exercise assistants that are at the other two lunch sites, also in Vernon and Franklin.
Just volunteers on that?
It's the same thing. They're
Same
not
thing?
paid, they're not paid by the county. Yeah, they're not paid by. the
Well,
county.
how about
So
credentials? So they have credentials?
It's the same thing. They're just volunteering to do it. They're just volunteering to do the exercise program. They don't have to be certified in exercise as long as they're doing the exercise program that the county approves the exercise program. They're not doing anything different. They're not deviating from that. And again, that's something that we would bring up with Lorraine. And as to the parking, I think it's pretty safe to say there's never going to be enough front parking at a senior center. I think there's never probably going to be enough handicap. There's probably never going to be enough front parking spaces. It has been brought to my attention. I don't know if you brought it to my attention, Mary, or not, but the people who actually work at the center are parked in the front row. And
That's true, that's
And
true.
somebody-
Always have been,
yeah,
yes.
somebody brought that to my attention. I think that we can probably get at least those 4 cars to move, so that would open 4.
Well, I don't know if they come in as early as they did, you know, a couple of years back, but there was,
That will help with parking.
Yogi Bear used to raid the dumpster
Yes.
just about every day. So, that's one reason why they're in the front.
Yes.
I
No,
think,
understandable, but I'll add that to the list for Lorraine.
I think he still goes there by the mess that's around it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Thank you,
Yes,
Roy.
thank you, Roy.
Mayor, is it possible to maybe look into also leveraging the bus, where if there's too much parking there, alternate site parking and the bus can come pick up those seniors and drop them off at the front door to alleviate that walk for them?
It's possible, but the bus is on its own run, so.
Yeah, just something to look
we
into,
really
just
have
to add
look
to the
into
list.
that. Anyone else? I'm gonna let,
Frank?
you've been getting up and going down, Frank. So I don't want you to start hurting
So-
quads or anything.
Frank Bello, right, been here before. I'm on the lines of the whole recreation thing, right? And it seems like probably around 2-ish years ago, I was the guy here saying, get rid of the rec commission, right? Obviously, we listened, obviously, we took different steps, we got Max. From what I know in dealing with Max and talking with Max, Max is on the right path, right? But now we have the rec commission, who's one of his. I don't know, we don't need a rec commission, okay? Rec commission, as it was explained to me, was supposed to be Max's overseer, right? But if the borough administrator is overseeing all the other departments, then Max should report to her or him or whoever that is. They shouldn't be reporting to the rec commission, right? I don't want this to sound like it's negative, but it's a fact. We have volunteers in a rec commission. If I ask them when the last time they were involved in a recreational activity was, they're probably gonna tell me a while, right? I know some of them are coaches, but when was the last time they've kind of took any education and insight into new coaching methods, right? My point to you is this: I have an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old. My wife and I love living here. When I hit that lake at Lakeside every day, it's like a decompression, right? I don't want to change anything about this town. And I've stated this to you guys and I've stated it to the rec commission directly to them. I want to see things more efficient and I want to see things better for our kids, our town. My predicament right now for my family, I moved up here. We love the town. We want our kids to grow up with the people they go to school with, to play sports that they grow up with, but it's been everything but that. There's no opportunity. There will be no opportunity for my daughter in a few years to go to the high school and play the sport she's involved in. She doesn't have an opportunity here. She's playing elsewhere. She's involved in sports here, but her main sport, she plays elsewhere. So I'm left with, in the next 3 years or so, I've got to make some real big decisions about my kids and my family. And my options are sending my kids to choice districts, which, if you guys obviously know, my wife's on the board of ed, which we're not happy about. I don't want to do that, right? I want to keep my kids here. I've got to send them to private school, which that's not happening, right? Or I'm going to move. Those are my 3 options for my kids. If we look at our sports programs along with our recreation commission, we have programs that aren't aligned with our high school programs. When you don't align your programs with the high school, these kids don't go to that high school. They go to programs that are flourishing. They go to programs where they see themselves succeed. They're not coming here. And if you look at the numbers of kids that are going outside of town, it's saying something, right? But our programs are still doing the same thing they're doing when I was here 2 years ago, right? And I haven't been to a meeting in a while. Like, I'm taxed like everyone else is here, right? But we have another program that also believes that they have nothing to do with the high school. Now, this is one of the programs on their own, right? I was involved in one of these programs. I just stepped away from it because I'm like the black sheep, right? Giving all the, hey, let's do this and let's do that. No, we're going to do this and no, we're going to do that. Okay, fine. It's not for me. But if we don't do things better, if we don't do things different than what we're doing now, And if you don't have kids playing sports in our high school and opportunities for children in our high school, when your high school goes bust, your town people they're gonna be left holding the bag and saying, wow, what happened here? Because we're gonna be in real big trouble. When families don't wanna move here, that's an issue. When they don't see opportunity, that's an issue. When businesses don't want to donate to your programs because they don't like the people that are running them, because there's too much stuff going on, right? With certain individuals that are running things, they're not going to invest time. They're not going to invest money, and they're not going to invest in a program. So I say to you, as I always have, we need to do things better. We need to do things more efficiently as a town, because nobody likes spending more money, right? I know my taxes went up as long as everybody's did, and they're going to continue to go up. There's no way around it. But we have to look at different ways of doing things, right? Departmentalize. I brought up things before. We can talk and we can chat as much as you want to, but we've got to do things different, or we're going to run down the same road that we've been on for, I mean, I've been in town since 17 or 18, and I haven't seen anything change. We're still doing the same things we did. Right? So I hope that we can continue this conversation, and I hope that, I know you guys put a lot of time and effort into what you do. All I have.
Thank
Enjoy the
you.
holiday season.
Thank you. I will just say, Frank, when it comes to our recreation commission and whatnot, you know, we really want to be grateful for all of the volunteers that we have everywhere.
I am
But
not grateful.
But I understand your concept of what you're saying. I really do understand your concept. I just want to make sure that the Recreation Commission doesn't get the impression that we're all like kind of, you know, being negative about Recreation
Nope.
Commission, and we're not. We just want to improve what's there.
I've said my piece to them, and I thank them, and I don't dismay anything they've done, but all I say is exactly what I said: efficiencies and better.
Great. Thank you.
You got
Thank you. Anyone else? Dave,
Am I the last one?
Maybe.
so far?
Okay.
Well, he was beginning there.
Okay, a couple of things. First of all, the lunch program for the senior citizens.
Yes.
I read the newsletter that we put out every month.
Mhm.
And it mentions, in the past, it said that the $2 was voluntary,
It's a donation.
the donation. In the latest newsletter, it now says it's mandatory. And there are people, I would imagine, who can't afford to pay the
It
$2.
says it's mandatory for the exercise, or it says
No,
it's
for
mandatory
the lunch.
If you can share that to me,
I'll get
it
it.
should say that
Right.
it's it should say voluntary.
Yeah, okay, I'll get
Because
the,
we cannot mandate somebody to pay $2.
yeah, I would think so. Also, what's the story with the water? I know we're in
I
a.
just gave a whole report about it.
I know you, no, I know you did, but I see this sign up, all over, by the terminal. There's a
foundation.
drought. We have a
New
drought.
Jersey has a drought.
Yeah, we have a
Yeah.
drought. Now, do we have any contingency, or what happens when we?
New Jersey does not have a plan for if they have a massive drought. They sent out their warnings. They asked people to conserve water. We asked people to conserve water. We had an emergency with our situation. We have wells in town where people have their own private wells, and they're going dry.
Right,
They're either having to wait for it to come back through you know, raining and whatnot, getting back in the system, or they have to dig their wells deeper. So there is an issue with water in the state of New Jersey right now, and everybody should be very, very conscious of it.
right.
Very conscious. Whether you're on municipal water or you're on your own well, you should be very conscious of it.
And the state isn't doing anything about
Well,
this.
what can they do if
I-
there's no water for them?
Build another reservoir, or
We can get them to
whatever.
build a tunnel. They're not gonna build a reservoir.
No, well, something.
I-
Otherwise, we're gonna.
100%. I agree with you 100%, but it's really hard to get water and bring it into somewhere, because how do you get it there? And
Yeah,
how do you get it into their lines? How do you know,
Right.
Hopakon was always, the lake of Hopakon was always a reservoir for Jersey City.
right.
You know, the setup in Jersey City is still there to pull the water from our Lake Hopakon down to Jersey City. Well, everything in between isn't still
Yeah.
there, but they still have their area where it would have ended up into Jersey City, but they don't do things like that anymore because nobody plans for those kinds
Right.
of things.
And we can't use Lake Apacon for a water supply in an emergency. I mean, we couldn't.
Thank you.
No, I felt that.
The DEP would
I
never.
would dehydrate.
would never allow it. Rather-
There are
They would
people
never.
that.
I can tell you that when, I can tell you that when they built the condos on Berkman's Island,
Yeah.
they made all of the homes on Berkman's Island, we all had to hook up to gas and we all had to hook up to city water. Even though we were getting our water out of the lake, which was the best
No.
water I've ever had in my life.
Right.
Because it was so deep in the lake and when it was coming up, it was crystal clear, it was beautiful. But they made us cut it off. So DEP is making sure because there are areas where it's not so good and it's not so safe.
Right.
So DEP does not want you drinking the water out of Lake Opakon. We have people that don't eat the fish out of Lake Opakon,
Right.
let alone drink the water out of Lake Opakon.
Right.
I agree with you
Right.
100%. There should be something that we do, but
Right. And I was looking at the lamps on my way here today. And I think I brought this up before. Now that we have the money, the $1 million to put up
don't spend
more.
it yet, Dave.
What?
Don't spend it yet.
Don't come up with anything.
What I'm thinking is maybe we could use more efficient
Oh, of course.
street
Of course.
lamps.
Of course.
Because it was, in fact, I'll bring the article in for you. It was in the New York Times about how some of the lights are so bright that they are messing up with the live, the insect, well, the insects and the animals and the other things,
Yeah.
because they're way too bright, just like I think it's too bright down on River Styx. I mean, it's like, you really don't, and maybe we could save money on the electric bill.
Well, we change them as we have the opportunity. We do change them out to LEDs.
We are
So, yeah, we
changing.
do change them out.
Right now, they're not LED.
I don't know if those are LEDs. Actually, some of the stanchions are definitely LEDs. I don't know about if the higher ones are LEDs. I'd have to check into that, but I do know the stanchions are LEDs.
They are.
Yeah.
And I think we have a lot of lamps in town that are incandescent, as those yellow lights.
Yeah.
And they could be replaced as they wear out, right?
And a lot of those are timers too, so
Yeah.
they're not on all the time.
Right. And there was just, you know, the way I like to save money. It seems like every time I come to a council meeting, we're hiring more people
Right.
for temporary jobs or this or that. Do we, why do we have to hire a temporary plumber and a temporary construction worker?
Well, they're not workers, they're inspectors.
Yeah,
So they're
and-
people that do inspections on people that pull permits. So
Don't we have permanent people that do that now?
we do, but if they're not available, we have to have someone that continues to do that, especially the plumbing with the New Jersey Natural Gas. So the plumbing inspector doesn't only just do the homes for your plumbing, they're also doing the inspections that connect to New Jersey Natural Gas. Plus, the plumbing inspectors are also inspecting the New Jersey Natural Gas project as it's going. So one of the main ones that we really have to have is a plumbing inspector. So if our current plumbing inspector isn't available, they're on vacation, we have to make sure that we have them. They're not all here all
Right.
the time. If our permanent people are here, they're here. But if we hire the temporary people, they're here for when our permanent people are not. We have to have backups.
And who pays them?
The town pays them.
A natural gas company doesn't pay for them?
No, because what happens is when you know yourself, when you take out a permit, the permit is based on what the cost of the job is, and that's what pays for the construction department to keep running.
I see. Okay, thank you very much.
Anyone else? Not see anything? Motion to bring it back?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstentions? Approval of the minutes, approval of the December 3rd, 2025 regular minutes.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Mr. Bongiovanni.
Yes.
Mr. Falcone.
Abstain.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Kusivic.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Correspondence, I just have one actually that I received at like 5:40 today. Dear Mayor Galati, first and foremost, I want to thank you and your team for working together closely with my office to host satellite office hours at the Hopakon Municipal Building throughout 2025. As you know, public service is about being there for the needs of the community. Since the beginning of my mobile office hour efforts, we have had hundreds of constituents stop by to ask for help with federal casework, discuss the issues of the day, and share their comments directly with staff. I'm writing to request a continuation of the successful satellite office hours in 2026. That would fall on the first Monday of the month from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Hopakon Municipal Building. Maintaining these satellite office hours will ensure that New Jerseyans can continue to access congressional constituent services close to home. These governmental partnerships are a one-stop approach that have assisted many residents in Sussex County, particularly those who want to meet face-to-face with a member of my team. Whether it is assisting with passports, Social Security, and Medicare benefits, cutting through the red tape of the VA, and working to obtain an IRS refund, our office is here to help. Should you wish any further to discuss, please contact my office. So thankfully, Congressman Kane's office will be here again in 2026, the first Monday of every month from 9 to 1. So that was really nice. Moving on to our tax collectors report. Everyone has that in their packets. Resolution 2025-211.
A motion. Second.
Authorizing the hiring of a temporary construction official. The question was asked of me of, why we're hiring another construction code official and the building subcode official and how that actually works. So I just thought it'd be easier to explain it all at once. So as you all know, we have a department head, which is our construction code official, and beneath that official is the subcodes, which is your building subcode, your plumbing subcode, your electrical subcode, and your fire subcode. With all of those people who do inspections, we need to make sure, as I just explained to Dave, that we have people to maintain those inspections to keep the department running and to also keep business functioning because, again, the Department of Construction is a self-sustaining department, so we need to be able to have people that go out and do the inspections, which keeps everything moving in the department. So the idea of bringing in someone as a temporary construction code official is that when our construction code official, as you all know, is Bill O'Connor, is not available, we need someone to take his place and sign off on applications and whatnot, and be able to direct the rest of the subcode officials beneath him, if that explains it to everybody.
A motion.
Second.
So, and just discussion. So it says in here, the 2025 budget, $400 a week.
It depends when they're working. They're not here full time. It's just when that person is here, they're here on a weekly basis.
So that means even if he does one, he gets $400 for the week.
He's not doing just one. He's not
So
doing.
he's being scheduled.
They're all
I
being
got you.
scheduled. They're
I
all
understand.
scheduled through the construction department, and he's not just doing one.
Okay.
And again, the construction code official is overseeing the building subcode official, the plumbing subcode official, and the electric. So they're actually going through all of those permits also, not just their regular department head construction official jobs.
So is that, sorry, so just for clarification, let me finish. So that $400 a week, is that based on a 40-hour week or 32.5-hour week?
It's based on when their inspections are and what days they're in here. They don't work full-time schedules with us. This is the, excuse me, this is the going rate for these type of officials that we have that come in and out, and it alters with our fee schedule that we already have existing in the code book for them.
Okay.
I'm sorry, was there a second?
Yes.
And a roll call?
Mr. Bongiovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Kukovic,
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. 2025-212, authorizing a refund of water service line fees paid to a due overpayment for block 11013, lot 37.
Motion.
I'll second. Can we discuss this? What is the water service line fee supposed to be?
The water line fee, they paid a fee of $15.50.
How could we?
The water service line fee should have been the amount of $1,000 and not the $15.50. So the refund is the $5.50.
I get that, but how do we overcharge somebody by half? Right, just something.
I understand that, but but again, it could be something that this was something that they overpaid to get a connection and they are getting a refund back because they only used the $1,000 and not the $15.50. They wouldn't refund the money unless it was something going back to them for a specific reason. And a roll call?
Mr. Bongiovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Falcone,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson,
Yes.
Mr. Kukovic.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. 2025-213, this is a refund for tax overpayment for a state tax appeal for block 31704, lot 2.
Make the motion.
Second.
Can I ask a question? Maybe
Sure.
How far back can people go for a tax appeal, a state tax appeal? Because this is 5 years ago.
So they're not going back to 2020. What happens is when you file a tax appeal, you have the opportunity to do your tax appeal through Sussex County. So if you go through the Sussex County tax appeal process and you're not happy with the results of that, you have the opportunity to then appeal that through the state of New Jersey. The state of New Jersey does not have a regular schedule like we think they should. And some of these, depending on what the property is, you're looking for specific examples of comparisons, and sometimes that takes some time. Sometimes it's a quarry, sometimes it's a shopping center. We don't have comparables in Hopatcon for a lot of those things. So this tax appeal was filed in 2020, and it's only just been heard at the state level. And the new rate that was given by the state, to which the taxpayer agreed to, is the $1,300,000 for the 2020 year.
So just to be clear, this is a residential home. This is on Elba Ave. And your explanation is that it took 5 years for the state to go back and do this appeal.
Yes.
I believe it.
It can take you 2 years to get through the county tax appeal process. And actually, it's the year of 2020. We have to take into consideration COVID.
Got it.
It is a lot of money, and that's the problem with tax appeals, and that's why it's so important to have a proper tax assessor that does the proper tax assessing for your properties, because when we lose in tax appeal court, the problem is we have to refund this money back to them, but yet all of the fees that are paid to the school and the county and all of the library taxes are already paid from the municipal budget, and we don't get it back. So the idea is to never have tax appeals and to never have a large amount of tax appeals.
I'm following you.
So this math also isn't mathing. 1.7 to 1.3, you get a refund of $14,629, right? Then the following year was assessed at $1.3 million. 2020 was assessed at 1.3 and they're getting 14,000. That tax assessment for 2021 should be 1.3 up to 1.6. So they should be paying us back. We should be billing them for taxes.
No, it doesn't work that way, because they have already paid their taxes. You're giving it back to them.
Right, but do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
So if you're altering them from in 2020 from 1.7 to 1.3, then in 2021 it should be 1.3 to 1.6, not 1.7.
This is the agreement that they agreed to. When you do these things in tax appeal, you don't necessarily have it go from 1 year to the other. You can catch up the 2 years, which is exactly what they're doing. So they agreed to the 2020 number and they've agreed to the 2021 number.
Taxes were paid on the 1.7 first, correct?
There's a
Taxes
tax
were paid
appeal for
from
2020 and there's a tax appeal for 2021. So there's 2 tax appeals that are here where they're being refunded for 2 years that they filed tax appeals.
2021 should be based on 1.6.
But they still paid on the 1.7.
These numbers come from the state. They don't come from our tax department, just so you're aware.
3 here.
There should be one.
Okay,
Yeah,
because you altered it here.
I
And
hear
it
you.
went up to 1.6.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I feel like I'm taking crazy calls sometimes. Thank you. Okay, all right.
And again, just to clarify, these numbers come directly from the state. They don't come from anything else.
Well, I don't.
She doesn't trust.
I don't trust the state. I mean, it took them 5 years to
but
come
you
back
making
and
it-
say, we owe them $19,000 now. Like it's no offense, but like.
But when you file a tax appeal, you have the right to appeal your taxes, and you make agreements every year depending on how you want to settle your tax appeal, especially at this level at the state.
Right, and so the
So-
state is telling us that we have to refund their money. back.
Correct.
So I don't really trust the state on that, but
Right.
it's okay. I know what you're saying.
Okay, motion in a second. And the roll call?
Mr. Bongiovanni.
Yes.
Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
No,
Mr. Kuskovic.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. 2024-214 refund to tax overpayment state tax appeal for block 30408 lot 24.
oh, yeah.
Make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Just
Same
asking.
thing, but at least it's only last year.
Just asking. And the roll call?
Mr. Bongiovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Falcone,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Kuzic.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez,
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. 2025-215, amend the adopted budget for additional items of revenue offsetting the appropriations.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Not hearing any, the roll call?
Mr. Bongiovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Falcone,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Kuzic.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
2025-216, authorizing transfers between certain budget appropriations in the 2025 current fund.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Not hearing any, the roll call?
Mr. Bongiovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Falcone,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Kuzic.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. 2025-217, authorizing Alliance to Prevent Substance Use Disorder Grant Municipal Alliance, $645.
Motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Not hearing any, roll call?
Mr. Bongiovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Kuzic.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. 2025-218, authorizing street hockey fees for 2025. This is for the 2026 street hockey program. Second to fourth graders, Division C is $50. Fifth grade to eighth grade, Division B is $50. Ninth grade to 12th grade, Division A is $50.
Motion.
Second. Just discussion. Is this enough? Like, are these going?
Yes, they ran the numbers and.
They
everybody
actually,
was in
they actually
agreement.
were flat or even made money this year.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, which
They
I'm
had-
surprised because I've been a huge advocate for raising
I
this.
know, I was like, I think you're, yeah. They had 177 kids or something last year
Yeah.
who signed up for street hockey. And so they had enough money to do everything and keep it at $50.
You
And that
get
was,
two things
yeah.
from the grocery store, it's $50. That's why I'm like,
Yeah,
I was.
they were bleeding money for a while. This year,
Yeah.
I think, was the first net positive year.
so hopefully, I forget when signups are for street hockey, but please go and sign up. It's a really great program.
The roll call?
Mr. Bongiovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Falcone,
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yeah.
Mr. Kuzic.
Yep.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. 2025-220, authorizing the hire of a temporary plumbing inspector.
Motion.
Second,
Any discussion? Not hearing any, the roll call?
Mr. Bongiovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
yes,
Mr. Kuzic.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez. Ms.
Yes.
Smith.
Yes.
Moving on to 2025-219, the approval of the bill list.
Motion.
Second.
I have a question. Well, I have maybe a statement and then a question. The statement is that I think that we should start noticing, and I wanted to bring this up on the last bills list, that the concealed carry refunds are starting to go out. Which is great. The carry permit refunds, we've had quite a few, so I think that's really great. And I just wanted to know why the grant award was canceled for Sustainable New Jersey.
I don't have an answer for that.
The only thing I wasn't involved with that, but normally when it's canceled, you think you haven't used it.
We haven't used it,
Could be from a previous year.
Could be from a long time ago.
so we had like $5,000 sitting there that we didn't use, and now we have to like give it back.
Give it back.
Awesome.
Great. Can we figure out what year that was from? Can you do that?
Thank you.
Well, Sustainable Jersey only just got running from June of this year to December, so it's probably because they just didn't know it was there.
Well, maybe, no, I think maybe like a previous year, like.
Oh, it was
23
definitely a
or
previous
22.
year.
Oh, yeah.
It was
yeah, yeah.
definitely a previous year, but I think the current Sustainable Jersey, the group who currently did Sustainable Jersey, I think it's because they just kind of formed and they just created themselves again since June to December. So I think it's probably that they probably didn't even know it was there.
Right. Thank you, Judy. Nothing else.
Motion second.
Yes.
The roll call?
Mr. Bongiovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Kuzic.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. We don't have any new ordinances. We have final hearings. Ordinance 12-2025, an ordinance of the Borough of Hopatcong, County of Sussex, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing the Hopatcong Borough Code to create Chapter 85 entitled Business and Residential Rental Unit Registration.
Motion.
Second.
And we need to open it up to the public, and I have a motion to open to the public.
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The meeting is open to the public for ordinance 12-2025. Does anybody have any comments? Dave?
Just how does this work? In other words, if I have a property, I come to Borough Hall and register my property and say how much I'm gonna charge and all. How does it work?
So you're required by the state of New Jersey, if you hold a rental property, to register your rental property with the municipal clerk's office. And if you do not do that, it's actually a $250 fine. We are trying to create a new database to recreate the old one that we have and be able to utilize this moving into the future with possibly the existence of another COO permit or whatnot, where we need to be able to get in touch with the people who are landlords in the town. But it's a new database that we're starting to create for the borough. It'll also help us with our short-term rentals.
There's a fee that they pay?
When they're registering, they just register. Right now, there's no fee for it. If they don't register, they get charged $250 if they don't register and we catch them. That's a state statute. But we can now create our own if we chose to, but we need to be able to redo our database. Our database is very old. Is that safe? Our database is very old, so this is creating a new database.
It's a good
Thank
thing.
you.
Anyone else? Not seeing anything, motion to bring it back,
Motion.
Second.
and the roll call?
Mr. Bongiovanni.
Yes.
Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Kusivic.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 13-2025, an ordinance of the Borough of Hopatcong, County of Sussex, State of New Jersey, amending the range of salary and compensation for the special police officers.
Motion.
Second.
And we have to open to the public. Can I have a motion to open to the public?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This meeting is open for the ordinance 13-2025. If anybody has any comments or questions. Dave?
How much of a raise are we giving the special police?
The special police, the class 2 special police officer is $25 an hour, and the class 3 special is $30 to $35 an hour. It's the standard rate around New Jersey. It's really a housekeeping issue. Not seeing anything, motion to bring it back,
Motion.
Second.
and the roll call?
Mr. Bongiovanni.
Yes.
Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Kusivic.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Thank you. Ordinance 14-2025, an ordinance of the Borough of Hopatcong, County of Sussex, State of New Jersey, to amend Chapter 224, Section 224-13 of the Township Code entitled Towing and Storage Fees.
Motion.
Second.
We need to open this to the public. Can I have a motion to open to the public?
Motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
This ordinance is open for the public for anybody that has any questions or comments. Anybody?
Dave?
No,
No.
I'll pass.
Not hearing anything, motion to bring it back,
Motion.
Abstain, Dave.
and the roll call?
Keep W with voting, right?
Oh, we need a second.
Second.
Should I have a second?
Mr. Bongiovanni.
Yes.
Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Kusivic.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
Yes.
Okay, so for old business, we have on here short-term rentals, but we unfortunately do not have an update with not having an administrator and the attorney not getting to all of the things that we dumped on him since August. We don't have an update for that.
Steve, was there something that you specifically wanted to talk about with short-term rentals?
Well, enforcing it, number one, and compiling a database to know, like, in registration and so forth, and I think we were making some progress, and then, but, you know.
And we're gonna increase our fees too, right?
Well, there's already associated fees with the fines associated with the, I think we're trying to upgrade a little bit to be more enforceable. But
Yes.
that requires administrator, that requires a lot of
Yeah.
pay for
Because I know
it.
that you requested one, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna sleep soundly tonight knowing that you put it on the right.
Know that I wanted to hear what you had to say about it.
Yeah. But that's the idea.
Under new business, we have the retaining wall right of way, which, as you can see, this is a,
No, I was gonna say,
Can we
we
see?
really can't see. These pictures are atrocious. And I don't think any of us can make a determination of whether this is satisfactory or not, just based on these pictures. I mean, this is terrible,
most people go to the site though.
but I didn't.
Okay. Most people
You
go
want
to
me to
the,
go to the site?
well, most people go to the site, and the other thing is, this is a retaining wall that already exists in the right of way.
Has everybody been to the site?
No.
You have?
It's in our neck of the woods.
Anybody else?
Well, I drive by it, but.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to go over basically what this is, Joe,
Yes, neither.
what this basically is this has already been in front of the zoning officer, and it's a wall that already exists in the borough's right of way. So they are getting a repair done to their wall, and it's going back exactly where it was. They're just repairing the existing wall that they have. So the zoning officer sends this out to the DPW superintendent and the engineer and the administrator to see if there are any objections to the person maintaining the wall where it was. If there's an issue, they don't sign off on it because it's a problem for us, whether it's for plowing or the engineer thinks it's an issue for drainage, they would never sign the permit. But because you have the professional signing the application, these people have already said that they see no reason why it shouldn't stay where it is.
So I had an issue the last time one of these came in front of us, and I think that there needs to be something done moving forward. I'm going to say it again. This is a person who built a retaining wall in the right of way without permission from anybody, right? They did not get permission from anybody. Now, I have a wall in my right of way that I built, and I got a permit to do it. And I had to, I paid the however much it was. I had it inspected when it was done. I was told it couldn't, it had, right? New Jersey is a forgiveness state. I get it. We can't make her take it down. We're not going to make her take it down. But I think that there needs to be a process by which there is a fine.
Yep.
From the time that these are built until they're caught, to keep people from continuing to do this. Because this is not the first one or the second one or even the fifth one that I've seen since I've been on council. And I get it. Don't make her take it down. That would be unfair and ridiculous. But there have been a lot of instances where this happens, and I think that there needs to be some sort of culpability there for it.
Well, there has been situations where we have made people take down things that they've put up without a permit.
Not in Hopakon.
Yeah,
Yes,
no, it has happened in a.
The land use board has continuously told me that they would never ask anybody to take anything down.
No, I
think it was on land use, so
On the land use board, and actually one of the later applications, that particular time we did actually make them revert back to what it was a number of years before.
Before you go any further, is that because people have said, we don't come forward and said, we don't agree with this, we want you to take it down? Or is it the same scenario here where nobody has come forward and said, this is okay, this is okay with us, and we want to continue on with this?
Well, it
So
was an inappropriate use. I mean, the reason that we made them go back was because there were a number of issues that it was causing for
okay,
the neighbors and all that, but and I can only.
More neighbor related, okay.
What I do, you know, on a land use board, we're confronted with these things, and I don't like it. I'm not happy when people don't get permits to go do things, right? I think there's a process that we've established in town to protect everybody and to protect the town, and I think that that's very important to follow, but yet we do have situations that arise, so I am 100%. If there's something that there's a very negative component to it, then yeah, well, we should make them do that. But I always approach it from the perspective, would I have approved it had it come before the board, right? So it's a slippery slope when you start to charge penalties associated with it. And I get your point. And I think if it was an egregious problem where we have a lot of people doing it, and you can define a lot.
I don't think that you know what you have, because I know where Mohawk is. Correct me if I'm wrong. Mohawk is like tucked away. The only way you're going down Mohawk is if you live down Mohawk, correct?
Well, I think
Yeah,
as a
well,
council, we could take a look at that and see whether we want to go find people when that happens. You know, here in this particular case with the engineer signing off on it and construction official, yeah, I feel a little bit better that it's not causing any negative component for the neighbors or the town, you know, town itself. But I think that is a separate issue. Maybe that's something that we do tackle, you know, down the road in terms of whether we do want to find people when they do work
Agreed.
without permits, even if we continue to allow them to keep the structure or whatever they.
Right. So just in a case like this, right? Let's take the two cases. I did mine. I went in, I got my little permit, I had the inspection done, I had paid for it, right? This has now cost money because they built the wall.
Yeah.
And now we have to have our superintendent go out there. We have to have our engineer look at it.
Right.
We have to have our our business administrator.
But
We have to
I
spend
believe
time
they had to
making
go,
copies
I
and taking
believe they had to
pictures.
go pay for that. They had to go catch up on the permits and all that in order to do that, I would
Did that?
expect.
I don't.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
They're applying for a permit to put the wall back up.
Right. So,
That has never been explained to me that they've ever had to back pay the permit, but
They're not back paying a permit, they're paying to fix the wall that's there. They didn't pay for the original permit. And the unfortunate thing in the borough of Hopatcon is there's no way to tell. This wall could be here for 50 years.
So they
And
didn't,
then
But
they're
that's,
asking,
but that
they're
happens all the
asking-
time in land use, and the onus falls on the owner of the house for them to prove that that was there for 50 years or
yeah, so
25 years.
they didn't
whatever
pay
it
for the
is.
permit for the original.
Original,
wall.
but
but
now
they're paying for the
now they're
repair
paying
now, and
for it.
they're catching it up right now because they're paying for the permit to fix the wall, and they're putting it on record that, hey, we have this here, we'd like to fix it, and then it goes to the zoning officer gives it to the engineer, he gives it to DPW and says, hey, is this a problem? DPW says, no, we comply with no problem. Engineer says, yeah, there's no problem with stormwater or runoff or anything. We see no problem. You can let them rebuild it. Then they go back out, they inspect the wall, and they make sure the wall is the way it's supposed to be.
So if this were done the right process, would this have had to come before the land use board?
To fix it? No.
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 To build
Okay.
it, to
No.
build the wall, would it have had to
No.
come in front of the land use board?
No.
No,
No.
so
I
now,
think because it's in the right of way, it may have had to have it come before.
Okay.
So hold on a second, Jen. So I think that's the part here is I'm glad that we have the sign off of our professionals, but they are still saving at the end a lot of money because any other resident who does something the right way, they have to follow the process and they have to pay along the way to come in front of the board of professionals here. So I'm not here to nickel and dime people and fine people, but it's not right that there are people who have to come before land use, pay $1,500 to get the opinions of our professionов, or just do it, get the approval after the fact and not go through the same processes or put in the same
I
investment.
think they did have to pay to do this, to get this point. We can talk to the land use secretary and see, but I do believe they did have to pay to do this. So the engineers, our professionals, should have been paid
Compensated.
via the homeowner or the applicant funds. Okay, so I don't think the town is out anything. Of
Right.
course, we can go double.
Oh,
check
yeah, I
that.
mean, I would like to know that just again, because how many other people are gonna see this and be like, well, if that's the case, that's an easy workaround.
Yeah, we've spoken about this.
Yeah.
But there's also no way to tell how long these walls or these things have been in the right of way.
Well,
Surveys will tell.
surveys will tell you.
Yeah,
Surveys will tell you, but if this has been here for 40 years, you can't.
then
feel
that's
like
different.
something
Yeah,
that
I would
they
agree. It
put a
would
wall
be,
for
yeah, and I think it's probably about time that we write an ordinance for this and we document it, and we say something like that, like if the survey does not have it there, then obviously you would be subject to this, but if the survey shows the wall was there and if they were the homeowner at the time, I think it's time probably that I know we've spoken about it, we wanted to do something with it, we no longer have a BA, but this is definitely something that we need to address, because this comes up more than it should.
It should, agree.
Well, it comes up because the zoning officer has to put it in front of you. That's why it comes up.
And it comes up more than it should.
But it has to come up, is what I'm saying. It has to come up because
If it was done right, it wouldn't have come up.
But again, there's no way to determine when it should have been done right.
By the survey.
The homeowner, right.
The survey was like.
No, there's no way to determine when it was done right because we have no idea. Even though we have a survey, there's still no way of determining how old that is. You can have a new survey, you can have an old survey. It's irrelevant. If the wall was there 50 years ago and it shows it 50 years ago and the new survey shows it 20 years ago or 5 years ago, it's irrelevant. It was still there 50 years ago.
The other thing that complicates is oftentimes, I think when we run into situations like this, it wasn't the current homeowner that.
Well,
actually did it.
I think that's what you're getting at.
That's another thing.
But that's,
And
but
penalizing
there's
people.
there's also records to determine that too. When did you buy the home? You bought it in 1995. The wall was built in 1955. Okay, then you don't fall into that fine, right? And if you write that out.
Right, but the problem
Yeah.
with that is that's another level. I mean, again, and you'll discuss actually what you're going to do with the new ordinance for, but you're creating another level of bureaucracy of now there has to be research done for someone to figure out when that wall was built, how old the wall is, what's in the right of
That
way.
Well, there should be.
I don't think we should, I don't think we should be, and this is not towards you, Marie, but I don't think we should be lazy in it because there's a lot of work to be done.
Correct.
I don't think it's,
Penalize people.
I don't think that it's lazy. I think that being in the community that we're in, because we are in a lake community where lots run on top of lots, people have to put walls up because they have to put small driveways in. They have to keep water from running in certain areas. They put the walls up in the right of way and take the chance that they're putting it in the right of way. And if it gets hit, it gets hit. You know, we're not responsible. If our plow hits it, something happens to it, that's what happens to it. But we live in a community where we are, and we have to take into consideration those people put up those things for a reason. They don't put them up just because they want to be decorative. They put them up a lot of times because it divides their front yard from a parking space, or it divides
Yeah.
their front yard from
So
water.
But there's a
then
process,
why have
though.
a construction official, a zone official, and a construction department and a land use board then? Just everybody just build it
Yeah,
and then
there's-
come
there's
in
a-
front of council
there's
and say,
That's
sorry,
not
I
really
screwed
true,
up."
because not everybody can do that. Not everybody has properties where they have to do that. People have people have other properties where they're big enough where they don't have to do those things.
But there's a process, right, for all of this,
Right,
correct?
correct.
There is a process, and
That's all we want people to follow.
there is a process, but these people who are putting the walls back up, that's my whole point. These people who are applying to put the walls back up and got permits and went through the construction code official and the zoning officer and the engineer and the DPW superintendent, they are following the process
Now,
Today,
today, but we don't know if they were someone who.
that's what we
filed
need,
that
that's the
past.
diligence we need to do, right? That's what we want to do if we write an ordinance
I
like
think if
this.
we go back and look at that, and maybe we can ask Don again or whoever, but I think if we go back and look at that, we're gonna find that the majority of the situations that happen as a result of a prior homeowner, not the current.
Sure.
So the point being is that if 90% of the time it's the prior homeowner, we're not going to go after the current homeowner and penalize them for the misdeed that was done by the prior homeowner. So if it happens 3 times a year with a current homeowner, then we, how much time we spend putting an ordinance together to prevent it, we could talk about that. But I'm just saying, let's do a little bit of homework with the construction department to find out how often this happens and how often it happens as a result of a prior homeowner versus a current homeowner.
It does
I can tell you
happen, in a lot.
But our ordinance is written on volume? Right? That's what you're saying, like, we're not gonna write an ordinance based on volume. Like you.
Well, I'm not telling you, Tom, what I am saying to you is that there's a lot of things that we need to go do. I don't know if this is something that's happening on a very regular basis and it's causing a significant problem for the town, then we need.
I mean, by volume.
Right, well, then we need to go deal with it. But if it's not happening that often and it's not causing a giant situation with the town, we have other fish to fry. That's the point I'm saying. So let's get the data from the construction and zoning department to understand how often is this actually happening, and how often is it happening where it's the current homeowner that's doing it? Like this one was a rebuild of the wall. Most of the time when somebody puts up a wall or a portion of their home or what have you without getting permits, when they have to go fix it, they're not calling the town about it and getting a permit because they know that they should have had a permit when they did it to start with, right? So that's why a lot of these situations are a result of a prior homeowner doing the misdeed and not the current homeowner. So let's just get the data and then we can make a decision whether to pursue it from an ordinance perspective.
I mean, I'll let it die on the vine, but I'm of the mindset that if it's done once, then too much.
Well, if that's what the council wants to go, I'm fine with that. I don't have a problem. I'm just giving you some information.
And again, I will just add that even with land use, a lot of these things are on a case by case basis, depending on what the property is. So like one ordinance does not fit everybody across the board. And even though we have all of our ordinances in our zoning code, again, every applicant that comes in front of us has a different lot, has a different topography, has a different story, just like these types of things is what I'm saying. So to again, have people come in front of us that are trying to do the right thing, get the permit, fix the wall because they know that that's the right thing to do. Those are the people that we're penalizing.
No, we're not.
what do we pay them?
No.
That's
You said the opposite, that if they weren't the homeowner who put the wall up, we're not penalizing them. Or we're talking about an ordinance that's not even written, but
Right.
we're saying basically that if we do the diligence and they weren't the homeowner, then we wouldn't penalize them. Simple as that.
Okay.
I think in most of these cases, when you see something like this, we have to trust our professionals, that they've done somewhat of due diligence to find out whether it was really old or
Yeah,
not.
I'm not saying I don't trust the professionals, but I have a problem with people doing things just because they want to do them and they think it's right.
Mhm.
When we have too many people, let's take Anthony's argument and flip it on the reverse, right? We have a high volume of people doing the right thing and they're paying
Mhm.
to do the right thing. And then we have a low volume of people doing the wrong thing and not paying, and it's creating issues like this. Now, this may not fall into that same scope, but we're actually penalizing the people who do the right thing because we're charging them money to do the right thing and follow the right steps. And we're saying to the naysayers, we'll turn the other eye. We trust our professionals. Don't worry about it. Everybody else, pay the $1,500. Don't put it in there.
But these are.
Really, I haven't seen
I
that.
don't see it that way. These are repairs. These are existing structures that are there
That's all.
that they're
There's
repairs.
repairs to an existing thing that should have gone through the correct process to have it put there in the first place.
Right, so the question is, if it had to go to land use and they didn't go to land use and now they're getting the here's your pass thing, they're not investing as much as the people who are following the correct process.
Correct.
That's all they're saying. So
About this.
let's move on from this. Let's just, it is what it is. We will discuss it in, at another time and figure out what we want to do. But it's just, we have processes in place. They're not always followed. And the people who don't follow them, I think, no, hey, I'm going to get a small slap on the wrist, but I'm going to save myself $1,500. So
Black and white.
it is what it is. Next.
You sorry, what?
I'm just, we're gonna go in circles talking about this stuff. So I'm not next to you, Mayor. I'm saying next on the topic
Thank you.
because,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank
we're
you.
gonna go in circles. Joe, you had other stuff, right?
Yeah, for new business, I'd like to come back to the rec commission versus committee. And I think it's time. What I will say, just to go back, Frank, to your point about moving forward, right? And I just want to highlight this because I know Luke is a little bit older than Nina, right? But when basketball was first, or when I first got involved in basketball, it was horrendous, and it's been run by the town. And we were sequestered to the gymnasiums that are not really gymnasiums. And when I was part of wrestling with Nicole, we were in the high school, and we tried to do this thing with the program where we would engage the coach, to your point, to keep the feeder program here and have those kids go there. Now, unfortunately, the coach didn't want anything to do with us. So you saw what happened to wrestling. It's now with Lenape. When I got involved with basketball, we came up with the idea to move the kids out of those unsafe gymnasiums that really aren't meant for basketball, move them into the high school. So we're making progress there. Last year was the first year that we did it. We had teams come up to us and they're like, this is phenomenal that you guys even get to use your high school gym. Lenape, who we all think is head over heels better than us, when the kids go to the games, Lenape does not let them use their facilities. You have to use the Byron facilities. And a lot of other schools, and we're going through it this year, a lot of other schools, we're going to have so many home games because the other schools won't let their rec programs use their high schools. So I just wanted to point that out, that and I feel your pain with soccer. You and I are on the same trajectory with soccer. We're paying thousands of dollars and driving all over the world for soccer because it's not available in a competitive environment that we expect here. But with boosters, with Coach Jamie, with Coach Vinny, like the engagement is there. And I went to the basketball game. I caught the tail end of the basketball game after the commute home yesterday. Gym was live, it was popping. So I just wanted to just bring that to your attention, that the basketball program is moving in the right direction. And the fact that we have a superintendent like Jeff Hallenbach who lets us use the school, the high school, and the kids get to see it. They get to see the banners, like all that stuff will resonate with them. But I will say that I think everybody is probably in agreement with me that, and again, to your point, Frank, there's no other department head that reports to civilians, right? We just recently tackled this with the police. It just makes no sense. And the commission made sense when we didn't have a superintendent. It was a governing body that kept the programs alive and they did an adequate job with it. But to your point, the boosters, Nicole, Pam, I think, Jackie, I think that there's probably a feeling of being maybe hamstrung for Max, that he's the only department head that has to report to and clear everything through volunteers, where, to Frank's point, everything should be overseen by the BA. So it just, to me, this has been a long time coming. I'd like to get it on the next agenda. I'd like to vote on it. I'd like to disband the commission, make it a committee. run in line with every other program or I should say department head that we have. It just makes sense, and I think it'll make things a lot clearer for the volunteers and for the parents to know who is in charge of these programs, and that's Max. It's not the volunteers, it's Max. So
you would take the committee out and then make them into
It would be a go from a commission to a committee.
from commission to committee, and then council will be on the committee,
There would
or
be a-
that's the current?
Be a committee liaison. There would be a council committee liaison.
I don't think it's a bad idea.
But statutory, I can't say the word, statutorily, there's nothing saying that a borough is required to have a recreation commission or
No.
their job functions in terms of them being like the checkbook of the rec department. Like there's nothing that we have to legally rework on our end to like make sure that's all done the right way.
We would create an ordinance that created a recreation committee instead of the recreation commission. The recreation commission is state statutorial. We'll have to see what we have to do to disband that, if that's a possibility in the direction the council wants to go. And then the committee is actually an ordinance that's created instead of the commission.
So I know we don't do anything at the reorg meeting because our next official meeting is a reorg meeting. You don't do anything at the next reorg meeting.
No, we wouldn't do anything like that at the reorg meeting. We would actually, we would have to, again, it might be something where we're actually waiting for, unfortunately, an administrator, because it's something that the administrator would have to work with the attorney, because we would have to see legally how we have to decommission the commission if that's the direction that the council wants to go. That would have to be at a meeting. We'd have to take a vote for that. And then it would be whether or not we're decommissioning the commission and then making the new committee. If
No.
that makes sense.
No, it makes total sense, but I'm just, so do we? Is it premature for us to maybe get it on the second meeting in January?
It might be a little premature because there's probably going to be a lot on that second meeting. And it all depends if the new administrator can actually have a conversation with the attorney, because everything has to be done legally. We have to be able to decommission the commission legally, and we have to be able to create the recreation committee.
I would hope that we could do our very, very best in doing this, because like I said, this is probably a year overdue. And that's on me too, but this is overdue.
Well, I think we wanted to give it time. I don't think that was a bad thing.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a bad thing.
yeah, the Novocaine is worn off.
And then Mayor, I apologize. I was so eager to wrap up that conversation of the right of way. I know you were supposed to request a motion in a second from us, and I was just so like, let's just stick a pin in that conversation.
I don't think we had a motion at all for that.
No, that's why I'm saying let's bring it back.
We were removing it. That was the impression that we got.
Well, then do we have to make a motion? to
Right,
table
do we
it?
still have to make a motion?
Well, you're not making a motion to table it. We're just, you're not voting on it. You're choosing not to vote on it.
Well, wouldn't we vote it down?
Well, if you vote it down, then the applicant cannot continue doing what they're doing. You actually, if that's what you want to do, that's fine.
Or just motion to table? Is that, we're motioning to table based on
Proceed.
collecting? What?
Can we ask Wade
More
what we're supposed to do?
It should be on.
Hi, Wade, are you still awake?
Yeah, sorry. So there could be a couple ways of handling this. You can either make no motion, and then it just has the effect of being tabled, and it could be brought up. You have make a motion to table it, make a motion to approve it, whatever you guys want to do.
So if we just ignore it, we
Right,
just come
we-
back
we-
at it.
If no
another
action is
time.
taken on it and there's no motion, it can always be relisted.
Okay.
Do we have?
So we don't have to do anything on
We
it.
don't have,
Have to motion like what I just brought up, since it's not on here, do we have to motion that?
Well, that's what I was trying to get at with, do we make a motion to put it on the agenda for the second meeting in January, or do we?
Because that's what I would like
Is
to
that
do. I would make,
premature?
yeah.
I think it's a hard sell to put it on for the second meeting in January, because there's a lot that's going to happen in between now and then, especially with the new administrator and it being the beginning of the year.
So if I make a motion and nobody seconds it, then there's really nothing to sell, right? But then we go to vote, correct?
Put
Okay,
it on the second meeting
so
for
I'll make the
January.
motion to put it on the second meeting for January to decommission the commission and make it a committee.
I'll second it.
And the roll call?
Mr. Bongiovanni,
Yes.
Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Kuzic.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes.
Ms. Smith.
yes.
Okay.
All right. And then I had one quick thing, 'cause I know I had.
No such thing.
Somebody wrap it up for me if I'm taking too long.
Go ahead, Sam.
Put a pin in it.
Put a pin in it, yes. So I know I kind of wanted to memorialize live streaming our meetings, work sessions, council meetings. I know we cannot request this of the other boards because they are independent from us, but I would just like to ensure that any work sessions that the council has, everything that we offer is live streamed. It is something that, several of us promised when we ran, for the seat that we're in, and I just want to ensure that everybody has access to the same information. And I think it's important that, to avoid the rumor mills, that people get the information from the meetings. And unless we live stream the meetings and give access to the public who cannot be here in person, then we need to have everything recorded and uploaded. So I just wasn't sure if I had to memorialize that, Wade, right? Is that how we would do it?
Well, we need to have a discussion about that. I had the discussion with the attorney about it. And again, doing something like this in the last meeting in December is something that's controversial. We have a new council member that's not here yet. That's not part of the discussion. There's nothing that would stop it from having the discussion at a future meeting in 2026 as opposed to this meeting this evening.
Well, I don't think live streaming is controversial. It's giving public access to public information and ensuring everybody has access.
But again, we've also been told from our professionals to not live stream the work sessions. The work sessions being live streamed is something that's always been driven by yourself. And we've been told that the work sessions are for the council members and not necessarily for the public. They're open to the public. So if the public chooses to come and hear what's being said, that's not a problem, but that work sessions in general hinder the conversation amongst the council members that are speaking, because again, it is something that's live streamed. We did the live stream of the budget, which ended up being disastrous because there were polls being done on Facebook at the exact time that the budget meeting was being done. So again, as the recommendation from Shelby and actually from even applicants that we've interviewed for administrator, everybody has recommended that we not live stream work sessions and have even diminished work sessions. So having a discussion here without being prepared to have the discussion with all of the data, all of the input and people being ready to have it, I just think moving it onto a discussion in 2026 where we're having a discussion with the new council that's here as opposed to just trying to have the discussion with just the end of the year council. I just think it makes more sense and productivity for us moving forward to have a discussion when we actually have the attorney here that'll be in the room that can discuss things with us in general.
Okay. So work sessions, as you stated, are public. The public can sit in on a work session, correct?
Correct.
So if public has access to the same meeting here, the public who are not able to drive at night, the public who don't have transportation, and the public who are physically bound to their homes should have the same access to information. So that's why I'm saying it's not controversial. Work sessions are not secret. Anybody can attend. So if we're letting public sit in the room, then public should be able to watch from home.
Yeah, I actually think it's actually more controversial that we do one and not the other.
That's what I'm saying. So I would like to just, memorialize the facts, or I'd like to request a motion that we live stream all work sessions and all council meetings.
I'd like to do a little homework on that. I'd like to understand that a little bit better.
Live streaming a public meeting?
Yeah, from some of the individuals that feel that it's not the best idea.
So
my point is that I'm not telling you I'm against it. I'm not telling you.
No, I understand.
I would like to understand the pros and cons of it a little bit more. So having a vote right now on it when we haven't had the chance to do it, I would prefer to do that after we've had a little bit of time to take a look at this.
I guess I'm just confused at what's to research when again it's public. It's a public meeting. So what's the downside on broadcasting it for everybody to have access to the facts, the reporting?
What I'm saying to you is that I don't see the particular downside, but apparently there is some thought regarding that. The mayor brought up one point that the council might not feel is open to be able to discuss some of the things in the work sessions or in the way that they would like to discuss it. So since there are some people that do feel that way, I don't have a problem putting it off for a couple of weeks or a month to do a little homework. We don't have to force a vote on it today just because we want to make it happen.
Kind of force a vote, but we're not, because a work session is already public. There's nothing that we can't not say.
Yeah, I can understand if it wasn't public at all and you were trying to make it public.
Right. It's
the fact that we're doing
public meeting.
50% public and the other 50% we're not, to me, again, I think it's even.
Makes it look suspicious.
I think it makes it look way more suspicious.
I think we're starting to lose a little focus here because broadcasting and no, but in public you could have it here. We should be more focused on a work session. I don't know what we're trying to accomplish in work session when we don't have the administrator.
I'm saying
So
in
we can talk
general,
all we want until we get an administrator on board. It means nothing.
this is memorializing a process. So when we do our public budget work sessions, which we promised the residents, Marie, when we ran, we were gonna live stream all meetings.
I don't want to talk
Hold on.
about running while I'm sitting on the dais.
My point is, it was a public promise instilling trust in the public that we will do
And we
X.
are live streaming meetings, but
Okay.
90% of the state of New Jersey does not live stream their work
That's
sessions
great for
or
that
their
night.
budget meeting.
Respectfully, Mayor,
And there's a reason why 90% of the state doesn't do that.
but that's what I'm saying, right? Like, I don't care what everyone else is doing. We said we were gonna do something. Let's not do it.
But again, this is something that was put on the agenda. It's not written on the agenda. It's something that was just brought up off of the cuff. You have somebody who's asking for you to give them a little time to do some research. Jonathan can't even put his 2 cents into the conversations because he's not sitting on the council yet. Christine might put some conversation into it, but Christine unfortunately is leaving the council. I don't see the rush if you want to do it and everybody's in favor of it. There's no difference of memorializing it today or memorializing it a month from now, just like Anthony said.
I just want to ensure that everybody has access to the same information, and you do have a motion on the table, just
We'll be
FYI.
denying that.
Did you make a motion?
I did.
I second it.
Roll call?
Sorry.
Sorry, Shauna.
We threw you.
It's okay.
Mr. Bongiovanni.
No.
Mr. Falcone.
Yes.
Ms. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. Kuzic.
Yes.
Ms. Rodriguez.
Yes,
Ms. Smith. No.
thank you.
Moving on to public comment. Can I have a motion to public comment?
Motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Abstentions? The meeting is open to the public for anything and everything that is on the agenda or off the agenda. Dave?
I rest my case.
Oh, thank you.
You're very welcome. It's on the front page.
Okay.
Do you want it? Can you?
I'm not gonna be able to reach our short arms. Thank you.
Especially when the bell comes.
I'm just wondering, it seems like when our attorney hasn't been here, we have a substitute attorney. How come?
He's on the.
No, he's on Zoom. Here.
Yeah,
He can hear
I'm-
you.
Sorry, I
He's
was under
right
the
here.
weather today, and so I
He's on.
didn't get everyone
he's on
going
the-
in. Yeah, I'm on virtual.
Oh, I see.
Be careful what you say.
Yeah, thank you so much. And you're not even a lawyer. And you're, well, very good. I'd just like to wish you all a Merry Christmas, Happy
Thank you,
New
Dave.
Year, Happy Hanukkah. And I thank you all for all your efforts through this last year.
As well,
Thank you,
Dave.
Dave.
Thank you for all your input.
Anyone else?
Positive stuff.
Like it's smiling now.
Stuff that I forgot before. Calendar, this whole calendar, right? Google Calendar.
Calendar.
Love the idea. One of the biggest things that we run into as parents is when is this, when is that, who do we contact, where do we go to, right? Love that idea. I did want to say the new field project, the Rickon, right? We're getting that done. That's another positive thing. These are things I forgot before, sorry. And going back to Joe, the cohesiveness between the high school, right, the coaches. I believe the Warriors football, they have the program where the kids invest in the younger kids, right? Scholarships. Love the idea, right? But we need that cohesiveness between the high school and the lower programs, along with the people running those programs, right? Everybody's got to get on the same page. It's vital to the coaches, the athletes, the young athletes, everybody's success. I love the idea of course, getting rid of the rec commission. And I would hope that if this all happens, that when the time comes to explore the committee and the committee members, that we would put it out there and make it open to the public, because I am sure that there are people that will volunteer their time.
We'd love that.
Let me know.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes.
Dennis Snyder, current president of the Hopac County Ambulance Squad. I have three things I just want to state or talk about. One is thank you guys for allowing us to use the rain garden commission. They finished it. They did an awesome job. As our squad will put in the benches and whatnot and move the book library thing over there. We were able to get the pavement redone, which is gonna look really nice in the spring. I think they did a great job, and again, thank you for that.
That sounds very peaceful, a little bench.
It does, yeah, it does,
It's
right?
very-
So again, thank you for that. Second, I'm hearing you talking about some kind of a list for business and residential unit. You're gonna create a list or buy an app or do something.
For people that own property in
creating
the
a-
town, they have to register, like if you own a house that you rent out, you have to register
Like
it.
Airbnb and that.
Yeah,
stuff.
so we're trying to make an accurate list of that, of all those businesses and.
Okay, so I thought
rentals.
you heard a list of owners.
They are the owners.
Yeah.
The owners-
Right, because you already have that. I use it every day in 911, Morris County, Sussex counties. It already
Yeah.
exists, so I don't know if we're gonna spend money on that.
We're not spending money on it.
Okay, good. All right, thank you. Last is, I was asked to stop by from, Rob Hour and to find out the statuses of the LoSAP for 2024. Since we're coming, 2024, we're closing out 2025 to go into 2026. And none of them have actually been made yet.
So I reached out to Rob twice this week. I hadn't heard back.
He's
from
away.
him yet. Okay,
That's why
probably
he asked me to come.
That's probably why. I reached out to him. I had a conversation with the municipal attorney and the municipal attorney is interjecting himself into it. He has gone through the trail of emails from our CFO and from Rob, and he has quite a few questions for Lincoln. So he is
Well,
going.
Lincoln has quite a few questions for you guys. So,
But it's very interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that the attorney will be able to get to the bottom of it, but he is working on having a communication with Lincoln. That was the
Okay.
last that we left it.
okay,
And I was
we
trying
get
to
a
get Rob-
timeline
I-
on this?
I don't have a timeline
We're getting
because
ready to
it's-
submit 2025s and
Right.
we have members that have left that are owed or not owed. However, people that are not on the list, that should have been on the list. There's almost no auditing and we keep people going like this.
which is why we have the attorney involved.
Yeah, okay.
So
All right.
somebody has to answer to him. So Lincoln has to answer to him. We're answering to him from our side. We already know your side.
So you're saying we have issued money to Lincoln for 2024?
Whatever we.
Like in August's meeting?
Whatever the money that was issued for Lincoln in the past is the money that we've agreed is there, that we can confirm is there. That we
There
can
being where? I'm sorry.
confirm that left here to go there. So
We have a check, we have a cash check.
we have our trail that takes our money from one spot to the
The
other.
question is, do we have a cash check?
I won't say whether or not there's a cash check, but
So
I do know that he's looking into it from the top to the bottom, and I'm sure that he'll get to the.
I'm asking simple answer, right? Do we have a cash check? Because we were told to go to Lincoln ourselves, which Lincoln will talk to us about you depositing money only our accounts.
Right.
So simple answers, do we have a cash check for 2024? What, we have to look any further.
Right. Right. I can't give you that answer.
Okay.
And again, with him reaching out for Lincoln now, publicly, I can't answer the questions
Okay.
anyway, so.
All right,
Because
I
now
thank you.
that we have him involved, it's different.
And I thank you. And everybody have a great holiday.
And if I can get that answer to you, I absolutely will.
Okay. All right.
Thanks, Dennis.
Thanks, Dennis. Anyone else?
I'm gonna make a comment regarding the LoSAP. I'm shocked and surprised, the information that they're not receiving. I reach out to the fire department, they don't have an issue as the EMS does. But at the same time, it should be just a phone call and say, we have
You're
deposit, the members that should have had it, because what they're referencing, in 2 weeks, they're gonna go into 25 percentages and the guy's gonna lose out. So it's really like, it troubles me to think that this is going on for this long. And it should be just with a simple 5 minutes conversation.
And maybe is there another like brokerage that would accept LoSAP, or are they like the?
I believe there's like 3 or 4 different ones to link
can
up
change
initially, yeah, we could change
I think we
it.
have to get through this first.
Well,
Yeah.
no,
before we
100%, but I'm
can
just
think
thinking
about
ahead.
changing.
Do we-
I
do
know in
we-
the past, we always had some issues here and there, but it was very minor. But just this seems like it's a lot more severe, especially on their end. It's horrendous. And I think for volunteer service, LoSAP was the
Oh, it's
idea
horrible.
created for. It's not good.
Right,
So.
but we will get to the bottom of it. Anyone else? Not hearing anything, motion to bring it back?
Motion.
Second.
Okay. I don't have any comments for the evening.
You need a roll call on that or no?
Roll call on what?
Moving it back? Motion on a second?
I don't know.
All in
My
favor?
birthday here?
Oh, no,
Yeah, we
moving
need a
it
motion
back
to
from
bring
the
it back.
Oh,
public.
motion and a second to move it back. I didn't understand what you were saying.
I didn't either.
We didn't have.
I must be speaking a different language.
You are.
I'll make a motion.
Nobody's
I
following.
got it.
All those in favor?
Yes, we,
Yeah.
yeah,
Did we?
we didn't say all those in favor.
Oh, I didn't say all those in favor.
That's all.
Okay, I don't have a mayor's comment for this evening. I would like a motion to go into executive session where no action will be taken to discuss employee issues.
We break for 2 minutes just to,
Can I just have the motion?
oh,
to
yes,
go?
motion.
Yeah, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all for coming. We're gonna go into executive session.
5 minutes.
Yes.